Hey everybody, I'm Matthew. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back for those of you who have frequented. I had the opportunity to receive a loaner while I was taking my car into the dealer. So this is my review, hands-on. I've had the car for about a week, so I think that I have had it long enough to really be able to speak on its performance and characteristics. But this is a BMW 2025 BMW 530i. And my initial thoughts are, it's a great car. It really is. It drives well. It glides, but not float. It is very performant in traffic and on the expressway. Gives you all the power that you would need to be able to maneuver, whether on the highway or on the road, but do so in a way that's very comfortable, very smooth. The seats are very smooth. The audio is very smooth. The appointments inside of the car are very high end. So I really think that this is going to be a great car for BMW moving forward, particularly if you have a family or if you have a rideshare business or something of that nature. This is a car. So stay tuned as I go through all of the specs and give a walk around and even a peek under the hood of this vehicle. Good day everybody, it's Matthew, and I think this is a great opportunity to show you what I'm driving. So I dropped my 850 off at the dealer and while it's there they gave me a loaner, and this time, unlike last time, they gave me a new 5 Series. So this is a 2025 BMW 530i, I believe. It is a very, very nice vehicle. So first of all, let's have you take a look around. You can see that this is a 4-door sedan and that it has lots of space. The seats are very comfortable. They are more not so much a sport seat as they are a very comfortable seat for long distance. I can definitely see this vehicle commuting long distances, going again to Miami, going to Atlanta. I'm here in Jacksonville. For both of those are 5-hour drives. Pensacola, 5-hour drive. So I can see both of those going very, very smoothly. And the next thing I'll do is I'm going to pull over so that you can see the exterior, and we can take a look at that. But some of the things I'll show you on the inside, let me pause here, flip the camera, and show you what I'm looking at. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the instrument cluster. And the thing about this instrument cluster is it is a part of the new skateboard design. So if I take it up a little bit, you can see that you have a single panel here with 2 different LCD panels. Very bright, very vivid, also very busy is the comment that I received from the family, is that the instrumentation is pretty busy. Now you can customize this through the menus and such, which are here. So unlike my steering wheel, you have your volume control over here. This is how you would move through your settings and your infotainment, if you will. Your music button for going, or your media button. Of course, this is what invokes your assistant. So single short press, I should say, will invoke the assistant, I won't say the word, but the B, the M, and the W assistant. And the other long press will invoke your phone's assistant. So if you have Apple CarPlay or if you have Google, it will invoke one of those. So I have Android, and so I'm using the Android interface. And this screen is absolutely massive. So in my car, I have like an 8-inch screen. This particular screen is I believe it's a 12 or 14-inch screen. I got to get the specs on that. Now, one complaint that a lot of you will have here is that there are no physical buttons for the HVAC inside. So that's mostly true. So you see that there are buttons along the bottom of the instrument cluster there underneath the infotainment, and you have to go into the menu a little bit to do that. So that's one of the things, or one of the detractions from having that type of setup, is that you have to go through multiple menus to get to certain things. I did experience that a little bit, but because I use the first thing I do is I set up my Android, and then once I set up the my Android for commuting, I'm pretty much done. But others, to set it up was initially a pain. One other thing is that you have no vent knobs here. All of the vent knobs are actually, get focused there, are actually capacitive touch buttons that are built into the actual panel itself. So this is a touchscreen, by the way, the full touch on this. The instrumentation on the instrument cluster is not touch, as you can see here. So that is there. The steering wheel is nice and big, and it has a squared off bottom, which I do like. It says M, but I don't know exactly what M is. It does have 2 paddles for your plus, and this one has boost. Look around here, and then of course this is where your lighting and such is on this side, and you have another vent there. So looking at our door cluster, we have of course our windows and our mirror, and then your lock and unlock. Those are not physical buttons either. Those are all capacitive touch buttons that sit there. So you can set your memory seat, you can turn on your heated seat, or you lock or unlock the door there. There's also, and it's not showing up on camera, a very large, very informative heads-up display. You can see the panel here, but you can't actually see the reflection. And while I find it to be very bright and informative, it's kind of limited in what information it shows. Oh, now you can see it. So it shows here, I have it set with the compass. I tried it with other configurations. There's like a sport one that is great, but not very useful for a long time. But it is there. I also have the setup. It also has a setup where you can forward and backwards on your tracks with the gestures. You can increase your volume with gestures, but you can't pause, which is kind of odd, or at least it's not registering when I use the gestures for pause. I'm actually that guy who uses gestures in my car a lot because I'm driving. I'll just take a hand off. To me, it's faster to be able to advance forward and backwards, and or pause and increase volume there through the gesture as opposed to knobs. That's me. Now the difference there is that with the volume gesture in BMW, it is a gross motor movement, meaning that when you are doing this, it turns it up a whole lot very fast, as opposed to if you use the knob on the radio, so you can get kind of a fine-tuned section there. So you do have media set up in here, of course. The range on this is very good. I'm at half a tank right now. When I picked it up last week, I've had it for just about a week. The 4th of July holiday kind of impeded my ability to get my car on time, but because Friday was 4th of July, this is 2025, and then Saturday most BMW dealerships are closed on the weekends because they follow the German model. But in any case, this was at approximately 450 miles, and my average, as you can see, gas consumption is somewhere in the almost 30 miles to the gallon, so that is very, very good for travel. And again, it has a nice weight to it. It's not too heavy to where it feels awkward switching lanes and such. It's very agile, but it's just heavy enough where it is very comfortable. It absorbs bumps very much, as you would expect a car on this level to do. One other thing I'd like to mention is that my wife commented last night that that the riding position is a lot different in this vehicle, which is true. It is much higher than my my 8 Series, which is a sports car. It's a cruising car, so it's not for sitting up high in traffic. So the next thing I'll do is again pause so that you can I can flip the camera around. Well, before I do that, I'll show you some other things. So again, you got your glove box over there, and it's triggered by a button. The stereo inside of this is a very clean stereo. I played lots of music and podcasts, both very balanced. It is a Harman Kardon, so Samsung, good job. And you can see that you have a pretty deep cup well there for storage. One thing you can see better on this angle is the door handle is very streamlined. It actually blends in. It's on the same plane as the door, so there's nothing that protrudes out of the door. This model does come with a sunroof here. I live in Florida, so I don't have the sunroof open. I know some people enjoy that. I do not. So there's that. It appears to have a camera in here. So maybe the camera is for like a dash cam type of thing. I'm not sure. I did not activate it, but I do see it in there. You got your SOS button. You got your programmable buttons for your garage on the mirror, which is standard on a BMW. And you have your lights. Now, I didn't find these lights to be terribly bright, but one thing about these lights is that I did do so in the daytime. I haven't driven the car much, honestly, but it is one of the accessories. Now, another thing that I will point out is that, again, unlike my 8 Series, is that I have a mirror that you can actually see more than just your eyes. In my car, if you have your mirror on, you are essentially driving in a case where, or you're looking at your teeth, or you're looking at your eyes. You cannot see both at the same time. So that is something that we have to keep in mind there. But this is a very well-appointed vehicle. Just showing you the center console here, where you have your electronic drive ignition, so you do not have a knob per se for your shifting your drive position. Neither do you have a stick or any type of all you have is that type of engagement. And one interesting thing here is that park is not a position, it's actually a button. So when you press that park button, it also engages the parking brake, which is very interesting. So for me, I usually shift the car into park on my shifter, and then I press the parking brake to hold it. Old school that way. It's a old trick or whatever. So you have, again, same accompaniment of buttons that you have on your steering wheel. You got your big navigation button with your iDrive. Again, a BMW standard. Then of course you have your media, telephone, your navigation, your parking sensors, and then you have different modes. So the thing about the modes is that you have the ability to take the car into these different personal modes, sport, aggressive, and so when you do this, it actually sets the entire display and the ambient lighting into that type of mode. So it's impressive or efficient, sport. So that is a ability. Hey, so I decided to talk a little bit more because I wanted to talk a little bit more about the performance. So I'm driving in the typical standard individual mode, and I can tell you that for most of your needs, this car is going to be sufficient for most people. It is, again, a very high performing vehicle. When I say high performing, it's a luxury geared vehicle. It's not very floaty. As I mentioned before, it is very agile, but it does allow for you to get out in traffic, to pass when you need to, and it has all the power that you typically would need to be able to maneuver through traffic on the highway. It's very comfortable when you're not on the highway, driving down roads that aren't the best, if you will. And I think that anyone that's in the market for this vehicle should consider it. Now, when I get to the dealer, I'll find out what pricing looks like for you, and we can look that up, what that looks like. But in any case, this is a recommend. I would definitely recommend giving this a shot. Now, this vehicle does, as appointed, does not come with the driver assist mode. It does have lane keep assist. It does have the cruise, but it does not have the adaptive cruise. So it will, just like a normal cruise control for the last 50 plus years, that you set the cruise control at a particular speed and it will maintain that speed. And you as the driver, the onus is on you to maintain your driving distance in whatever traffic you're in. You will have to hit the brake unless it is a sudden stoppage, which it will invoke the emergency stopping feature on that. It does have the stop start in it, and I'm trying to think, is there any other feature that I'm missing here? I don't think so. I am very it does have the rear shade, which again in Florida is a big deal. So it has it both there, and I don't know if I can get it here. I'll have to get in the back seat, but it also has it on both of the windows. Both rear windows have a shade, which does help in the Florida heat. So that is I'm a big fan of any car that has shades in the rear, because it is, I think, a necessity at this point. So as I'm maneuvering through, I want to go ahead and just give a shout out to Parks Digital. That's my new business imprint. You'll be hearing more about that in the coming days. Just waiting for some other pieces to come about. But in the meantime, I am going to pause again so that I can stop the vehicle and show you the exterior. It gives you the ability to do some customization here whenever you're dealing with the vehicle. So I think that's all that I really want to show from the interior. I may get out when I stop the car to do more of the back seat so that you can see what that looks like. I don't typically have the ability to do any back seat stuff. So this is where I'll pause for real this time, and then I'll hit you up with the next video. You have to excuse me, guys, I forgot my mic today, but this is me standing in front of the car, and you can see that it has very, very nice lines. Let me flip the camera for you. And as I mentioned before, I did forget my microphone today, so apologies for that. But as you can see, it has a very, very aggressive look to the front of it. The huge kidney grills, but again, that's not open, so it's actually a closed grill there. You have your camera, of course, at the front. So I don't know if this is a hybrid drivetrain or not, but as you can see, you got your side gills and your front, so your radiator is down at the bottom. Got your BMW LEDs in there. These are looks like 10 spoke is what I would call them. These are 20 M rims. They are 20-inch tires. Let's get a nice sweeping look at the front quarter. Sorry, I just wanted the plane to go over. So you got the front quarter here. Got the ass view here. Let's unlock it. Here's the key fob. So let's check out the back. So contrary with most 5 Series, this has a huge door and a huge opening, which is something I've always been a fan of. So back seat, got your USB and your accessory hook here for hanging clothes and such. You also have a hook up top, and in this one, which I don't know why, but it actually has the, you can see that, it actually has the accessory here for hanging your clothes across the back rail here. So there's that. Same on that side. A couple USB chargers here, and of course your vents on the back here. These are not capacitive touch, they're actually knobs there. Harman Kardon again emblazed across that. Some tiny little lights here that you can turn on and off. Got another better view of that sunroof and of that instrument cluster and what it looks like. The wind's picked up a little bit on me, but I wanted to make sure I got under the hood for you. So what you're looking at is a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo, single turbo, with a mild hybrid assist, which I suspected when I saw this solid grille, and so 48-volt system that it's running on. I was looking to see if I could see the electric motor in there, I think, but I can't. It's very well concealed. Probably have to take the engine cover off. But yeah, this is a very nicely arranged engine compartment, and frankly, that does look bigger than a 4-cylinder or a 2-liter 4-cylinder anyway. So that means that if you're going to be very efficient on the road. Again, I was averaging in the 30s as far as my gas mileage, so that's always a plus, particularly with gas prices, no matter what nobody tells you what they are today. So I'm gonna start it up and then we'll get on the road. Thanks. So let me try this again. So sorry, I got interrupted by a phone call. It's one of the hazards of filming on your phone that strangely I've never had happen before. But in any case, you see the rear shades here. They're retractable, they're manual, so they're not automatic. Although the rear shade here is mechanized, so you have a button up on the front on the window cluster there on the door. So, and then of course you got a little storage. You have a little footwell here for your feet. Big door, cubby, and then again, as you can see how smooth this is, where your hand just transitions into the actual door handle there. So rear quarter, gas tank here, and then you've got your button. So very nice, and as one would anticipate, huge voluminous trunk here with all kinds of kit in there that comes along with it. Your floor mats are still in here, and this gives us a chance to look at the Moroni, which, as appointed, this vehicle, 2025 BMW 530i sedan with the M Sport package, the premium package, takes us to $66,755. So that's what this vehicle comes with. This is, I guess, your tool kit on that side. So there's a lot going on with this vehicle, but it is a very nice vehicle. Trunk. So coming back around, of course, you got your shark fin antenna, kind of stunted. Your nice big 5 right there to let everybody know what you're driving. Get in. One other thing I'll say is that just like on a lot of EVs, the door handles do not protrude. They're very, very flush with the actual door panel, so that gives you a little bit in savings there on your fuel mileage. So all in all, hit the start up. And besides that chime and the air conditioning, I wanted you to hear just how quiet the vehicle is. So thanks everybody. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do me a favor, like and subscribe and share so that others can share this content. I really appreciated the time today. Thank you so much and have a pleasant day.